I have started the recording. I cannot hear anything in Discord, FYI. So let's just make sure we type our questions. So basically, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. So most of y'all know me here. If you're here, you probably know me. If you're seeing this on YouTube and you don't know me, my name is Crunchess. I have been streaming on Twitch for over 5 years at this point, and I started doing these sessions for creators a couple of years ago. We called it Step Up Your Stream, and basically what it did was we brought small streamers and content creators together and gave them a space to ask their questions. And basically, I put together a learning series based on things that I had come to learn or discovered or, trial and error kind of explored on my own as a streamer and things that I did to help kind of grow my community. And so since I've rebranded 3 times in the last 5 years, I've built myself from the ground up 3 times at this point. I know a little something about growing community as a small streamer. I can say right now, currently in the year 2025, that I probably have the most active and loyal community and have seen the most organic growth as a content creator and a small streamer. So I feel like now's a good time for me to pivot back into this. Initially, when we started doing the Creator Café Sessions, it was more or less just, come bring your questions and we would do Q&A type stuff. And I feel like there's more purpose when we do things like this, because my ADHD goes really hard on days that end in Y. And so I tend to get distracted. Surprise, surprise. I tend to get distracted. So if I go down a rabbit hole, at least this way I have something that will kind of bring me back. This keeps us on topic. And then what it does is you don't get overwhelmed or overloaded with information that isn't really necessary or doesn't necessarily apply to you, right? So I want to make these topic-based so you guys know what you're getting into. That way we can have these meaningful sessions and there will be some discussion, and I will be asking for input from you guys as well. Just we're going to talk about your guys' experience. And then at the end, we'll open it up for Q&A. I will answer whatever questions that you guys have in the time that we have Q&A. If the question that you bring requires a little bit more in depth, I will do a topic session on that question, and then we can come back to it. Right now, I want to start doing these monthly. My goal is to have enough feedback from the community to be able to do these on a bi-weekly basis. And as these grow, there will be homework. I will probably offer one-on-one sessions to kind of help you guys out. But we're going to talk about everything that I have personally done as a content creator and a streamer, the journey that I've been on for probably the last 2 years in rebuilding my brand once again, and what's worked for me time and time again, or just straight out the gate. So we're going to go through everything that I've personally experienced as a content creator. So I'm going to be sharing with you guys from my heart. So obviously a little bit about me. Again, for most of you who are here in Discord, for all of you who are here in Discord, I would assume that you know who I am. But if you're finding this video through another means, or if you're new here, I am a digital creator. I'm a creator in the digital space. I'm a content creator. I'm now somewhat of a content strategist, and everyone's favorite Twitch mom with a side of chaos. I love to help small streamers and creators show up as their full selves, completely unmasked, boundaries set, and going through growing as a creator, but without the burnout, right? Because this has to be fun for creators. Otherwise, it just becomes work, and then we fall out of love with it. We will start with this, and I'm going to die on this hill. There is no such thing as a small streamer, just small mindset. So I want you guys to keep that in mind. It never comes down to numbers. It comes down to you and what you bring to the table. So what we're going to talk about tonight, what we're going to go over in the series, we're going to talk about why it feels so hard to self-promote, because I think self-promo is one of the things that is necessary for content creators, but we don't talk about it enough. And there's a right way to self-promote and there's a wrong way to self-promote. We're going to go over both. What growth outside your comfort zone looks like, okay? I'm going to force some of you to get real yucky, Okay. It's not going to feel good. It's going to feel yucky, but I promise you it'll pay off in the end. How to promo without being cringe. Okay. Because nobody likes that guy or that girl. How to network without clout chasing, because that's a big one. Okay. You can just be so good at networking that people will accuse you of clout chasing, but we're going to go through the steps on how to make it legit. Okay. And then we're going to go over some quick wins to boost your visibility. So I'm going to give you guys 3 things to do as streamers and content creators who want to grow their community. I'm going to give you 3 things that you can do right off the bat that will help boost your visibility. Why is it so damn hard? Because it is. Because online spaces, because imposter syndrome, because anxiety, because fear, all of these things, because judgment. There's a number of things that make it really, really hard, and we're gonna kind of walk through this together. Putting yourself out there in a public space, especially online, can really make you feel vulnerable. Okay. So, I did mention fear of judgment, rejection, or being annoying is real. Okay. Show of hands, I guess, in chat. Show of hands, I guess, in chat, however you guys can. How many of you have ever felt like you wanted to engage either with another group or another content creator, and you talked yourself out of it because you were afraid that you would come off as annoying and that they would instantly shoot you down? Yeah, that's real. That's so real. Okay. The problem with this is, and I'm gonna hold your hand and hurt your feelings at the same time. The problem with this is, and I just released one of these shorts on TikTok. If you do not make the first move, you have already rejected yourself. Okay? If you do not take the first step, if you do not step out in faith and confidence, whether it's delusion or fake it till you make it, if you do not take that first step and you say, I'm not going to do this because they're going to think I'm weird, or they're going to think I'm annoying, or they're going to say no, you have already taken the power out of that situation and rejected yourself. You have already eliminated the possibility of that no being a yes, and you have cut yourself off from the very real possibility that you would have gotten what you wanted out of that engagement or that interaction. Okay. And I know it's tough because people are kind of shitty. All right. Let's just be real. People are very shitty, and you never know what you're going to get in the content creator space, but 10 no's and 1 yes, that 1 yes might be all it takes to change the game for you. So I want you guys to think about that. I want to put that into perspective for you. The right people will say yes, period. If it's a no, it wasn't meant to be. And we have to shift the mindset when it comes to networking and putting ourselves out there. We have to shift the mindset and be ready to be okay with no. And I know as human beings and as content creators, that's really, really, really difficult, especially as adults who have other things going on in their lives. You have to get used to hearing the word no, because when you finally get that yes, it's going to be the one that mattered. Okay. So you just have to, greatness is on the other side of whatever else, whatever it is that you are falling short of. The hard part, most of us were not taught how to network or promote ourselves, especially in creative and gaming spaces. How many of you, show of hands again in chat, how many of you, when you first started streaming, had somebody walk you through this and say, okay, when you go live, you're going to have to do X, Y, and Z in order to put yourself out there and be seen? Or did you just automatically assume that hitting go live, you were going to reach Valkyrie or Pokimane numbers and have tens of thousands of viewers and be able to retire and play video games for a living? I'm entirely self-taught. Okay. No one explained anything to me, but I also knew what I was setting myself up for based on watching. Okay. I didn't have anyone tell me to do XYZ, but I also knew that I wouldn't be hitting those numbers. That's fair. That's very fair. It's so hot up here. I was told info, but I already knew that info didn't suit me, but then didn't have the info I needed to have. Okay. And you know what? That's another thing too, is information is not one size fits all. When you are a content creator, nothing that anybody is going to give you is going to be one size fits all. You have to take the information that you are given, unless it's literally like you're programming a bot and then it is one size fits all because the bot works within X parameters. As a content creator, you have to make that information work for you. And we'll talk about that in another series. I just kind of click go live and talk away like I know how to talk to myself when I game most of the time. I had assistance with technical aspect, but not talking to chat, self-promo content, etc. And then inflated expectations really threw off my reality. Okay, I want to talk about that real quick. The idea that you are going to go live and you have expectations of what your stream is going to look like. People are going to show up. They're going to magically find you. They're going to engage. Chat's always going to be popping off. You're always going to have stuff to talk about. The games are always going to be fun. You're always going to be winning. Nobody tells you it's never like that. Unless you are willing to put in the work. And sometimes the work can take years. There's a very small percentage of streamers and content creators online who have gotten very lucky right out the gate and surmised, or what is it called? Amassed. There you go. I can word today. And have amassed a following that is large enough to carry them financially, content-wise, engagement-wise, et cetera, right? So there is definitely a set of expectations, especially if you are a new streamer or content creator that is being shown how to stream by somebody who is already well established, because all you know about that person is that they constantly have 40 to 50 viewers in their chat at a time, or they're already Twitch partner, or they're getting subs and they're getting donations, and you see what they're experiencing, and that is your expectation going into that. And it doesn't happen. The problem is you are seeing the outcome, but you are not seeing the journey that they went through to get there. And the thing that you have to remember is everybody's journey is going to be different. I need to say that right now, because we can talk about all of this until, until I'm blue in the face, right? Or until I run out of words. We can talk about all of this. But the thing is that your journey has to be for you. You cannot take everything that I've done verbatim. You cannot go for bar. You cannot copy and paste my stream, my bot commands, my alerts, my anything. You can't do any of that and expect the results that you see in my stream in your stream. You can't do that. You can't do that with me. You can't do that with any other content creator. Your content has to be genuinely and authentically you. And that's the part that nobody tells you, is they can show you, oh yeah, I just did this, and that. I just took XYZ steps and all of a sudden I have this following. There's a little bit more to it than that, okay? There's the foundation. There's the steps that you can take. That is the blueprint. You have to be the magic, okay? There's a big difference. You can follow the blueprint. You can follow the instructions step by step. You can build this IKEA furniture into your stream. You can do everything by the book. You are the magic, period. And if you don't know who you are as a content creator, none of that other shit's going to matter. I'm going to say that again for the people in the back, even if I'm going to hurt your feelings. If you do not know who you are as a content creator, none of that other shit's going to matter, period. It doesn't matter how successful it is for any of the other content creators around you. If you don't know who you are as an individual content creator or streamer, none of that is going to matter. I was here to steal all your content. Not the content thievery. I can't. Loud, so loud. You're welcome. Let's take a moment and do a little group reflection. Tell me in your own words, what stops you from promoting yourself more? And be honest. Is it imposter syndrome? Is it fear of rejection? Is it time? Is it not knowing how? Could we go deeper into that? Do you mean just doing like what we want to do versus what viewers want us to do? Ooh, that is a good question, Coda. We can absolutely go into that. We can absolutely go into that because there is a balance there. There is definitely a balance. All it says is several people are typing. Ugh. People making fun of me has already happened when posting clips on other platforms. Okay. If you want me to be honest with you, I love your Stardew Valley clips. I'm just saying. I see them on my TikTok all the time. Not really knowing a good way to self-promo and imposter syndrome, fear people secretly hate me and only tolerate me. Ooh, that one, that voice can get real loud and real ugly real fast. That can get real loud real fast. Self-promo wall for me is thinking someone more important needs a space to promo, so kind of a self-rejection flavor. Okay. Not necessarily self-rejection, but you're shrinking yourself you're shrinking yourself to fit in a space. You're shrinking yourself. That's not self-rejection. That's different. That's different. Especially since I mod for streamers larger than me. That can definitely be daunting. Absolutely. Let me be tiny. No. My imposter syndrome, plus I feel like I shouldn't be doing that in other people's spaces. Okay, we're gonna get into that part of it, Trico. Honestly, the fact that I have a job, I work 50 plus hours a week, have a wife that I want to make sure is happy, and I'm pushing myself out my IRL career. So being a content creator has been pushed so far in the back burner, it's essentially on the counter. No! First obstacle is always my imposter syndrome. Second, and this is what I'm learning now, is spreading out all the self-promo over multiple platforms so I don't annoy people. Then I fear, like, for example, you're on Facebook here and TikTok, and you'll see it like 10 times. Okay, we will talk about that one too. This is all really good. If we don't get to a lot of these tonight, trust me, there is enough for me to build out additional sessions and we can go really in depth on this because you guys aren't giving me anything that most content creators have not experienced for themselves in one way or another. But these are all extremely valid, extremely valid. And we could talk about how to navigate each one of these. Death, especially yours, because same friend, also kids, cats, gym schedule, stuff like that. But it's a work smarter, not harder mentality, but we can get into that later. First, not knowing how to promote myself and why my anxiety really sucks. Okay. So a lot of this, most of this sounds like we are our own constraints. We're standing in our own way, which is great. There's a very small percentage of you that said other people are stopping you from promoting yourself. So it sounds like we are the holdup here. Before we move on, I want to address Coda's question. Could we go deeper into that? Do you mean just doing like what we want to do versus what viewers want us to do? So Coda, there is a balance. There is a balance. One of the things that I've managed to do with my stream is I have found a way to incorporate my viewers and my community into the fabric of my streams. And I'm sure you've seen that. I'm going to tell you right now as a content creator, it is extremely important to figure out where your boundaries are between what you want out of your stream and out of your content and what your viewers are demanding of you. Because at the end of the day, streaming should make you happy. If streaming does not make you happy, you're not having fun, it's not bringing you joy, and you dread going live because you're going to play a game that you don't want to play and you're going to be subject to doing things that you don't want to do, that's when it's a problem, okay? And if you are streaming for your viewers, you're doing it wrong, okay? I'm going to say this one more time. If you are streaming for your viewers, you are doing it wrong. The second you stop streaming for them and making content for them, and you stream for yourself and you make content for you, your people will find you. What you don't want as a content creator, and I made this mistake during my Pokemon Unite era, so I can speak from a place of experience, which is why I'm very passionate about this. When you start making your content about them, the reliance on them to show up becomes greater than your desire to show up. Okay. Now you are reliant on your viewers to be there because that is where your content focus is. You are streaming for them. And if they don't show up, now you're stuck streaming to nobody doing something that you absolutely hate. Okay. I don't know about you, but if I'm going to sit here and I'm going to put myself in a public space when I work all day and I have other things going on at IRL and streaming is not full-time paying the bills, I want to do what I want to do. I want to talk how I want to talk. I want to be how I want to be. I want to laugh the way that I want to laugh. I want to joke the way that I want to joke. I want to dress the way that I want to dress. I want to be comfortable. This is my space. Period. This is my space. You don't want to build a community based on false pretenses and premises. You don't want to build a community full of people who want to see you play Fortnite and you fucking hate playing Fortnite. You don't want to be the streamer that consistently plays community games and having 20 people constantly in your chat asking to play games and asking to play games when all you want to do is play Stardew Valley and go hit some rocks. First and foremost, content creation is about boundaries, period. This is your space, your stream. You do what you want, what makes you happy. The right people will find you. And if your viewers are not happy with the way that you are running your stream, they can leave. Hopefully that helped answer your question. We got the zero BS approach going on here. I see Chief typing. I'm gonna wait for him to post what he's gonna post, and then we can move on. You know what's even better about that last sentence? They can leave. You cannot. It's your stream. That part right there. You can't leave. I mean, you could, but you're doing a disservice to yourself. So, all right, this one's gonna be fun. This one's going to be so much fun because when we talk about what stops us, a lot of it is ourselves. And the only reason we would stop ourselves from doing something is because it takes us out of our comfort zone. We like being small. We like being cozy. We like being wrapped up in the burrito blanket of our own space and our own safety and our own people. Right? This is where self-promo and networking really come to life. And this is where you have the ability to get creative, but this is also really the yucky part. Okay? Staying in your comfort zone feels safe, but it also keeps you invisible. Okay? When we talk about the comfort zone trap, we've got 3 zones as content creators that we live in every single day. Okay? You have your comfort zone, you have your stretch zone, you have your panic zone. Your comfort zone is what you're currently existing in right now. Comfort zone is the thing that makes you feel warm and fuzzy, and it makes us happy, and there's no sense of danger, and we don't have to do that because we don't want to, and we don't like the way it makes us feel, and we're just thinking about it makes us nervous, and we don't like the feeling of nervousness, so we're just going to sit here in our little blanket fort with our snickety snacks and our scented candle, and we're just going to exist. Okay? That's your comfort zone. You're just going to go live and you're going to play your little game and that's it. And we're not going to do anything beyond that. I'm going to tell you why this is considered a comfort zone. You can go live and you can play your own little game. Every time you go live, you are still in your comfort zone. Do you want to know why? You are still in your comfort zone when you go live because Twitch does not have a built-in visibility factor for small streamers in their algorithm. You have to engage. You have to find the viewers. You have to give them a reason to be there. You have to give them a reason to chat. Because the way Twitch's algorithm works is that your visibility gets boosted when your chat is extremely active. It doesn't matter how many people you have in there. If your chat's popping off, Twitch's algorithm says, hey, something really cool is going on in that chat right now. We better boost this. Okay? You have to give the people something to type in your chat about, okay? Going live doesn't mean getting out of your comfort zone. It's a big step, yes, because I know anxiety can be a thing and fear can be a thing. And sometimes we just don't feel like we want to do it, right? And there are days where we just feel like we can't be on it. And it's okay to pull back on those days. But if you really are looking for growth, it's not just about hitting the go live button. Go live button is comfort zone, okay? Then there's your stretch zone. Stretch zone is you doing something that's out of the ordinary for you. Maybe you sign up for TikTok. Maybe you sign up for TikTok and you post on your story that you're going live. Okay? Your stretch zone. Or maybe you're playing a game that you don't normally play because it's a new game and everybody's playing it, and maybe playing this new game will get you out of just doing, whatever game that it is that you normally do, and you might get new viewers. You might get new people coming in, and they might ask you questions about the game, and they might talk to you, okay? Stretch zone is a little tiny bit outside of our comfort zone. It's doing something new, but it's not exactly like going the distance, okay? So stretch zone is kind of where you aim to be on a consistent basis, but you want to push it a little bit further. Now, panic zone is when you go full-fledged way outside of your comfort zone. If I'm a brand new streamer to Twitch and the first thing I do is I go and I start pitching collabs and I get locked into a collab with a streamer who's 10 times as big as I am, and now all of a sudden, like, the pressure's on, right? There's going to be tens of hundreds of maybe thousands of eyes on you. And now you're going to be exposed to an all new community. You don't know who they are and you don't know what their vibe is. And you're bringing your one viewer who's your moderator, right? And you're going to show up. Like, that's a lot of pressure. So the panic zone isn't necessary. You don't want to go 0 to 100. You don't want to go comfort zone to panic zone. You want to try and exist in the stretch zone as much as possible, because let me tell you something. As a small streamer, as a content creator, if you are not constantly uncomfortable in your space, you are not growing. I'm going to say that again. If you are not constantly uncomfortable in your space, you are not growing. Okay? Or you get rated by someone who has a lot of viewers and all of a sudden there's a bunch of people. Yes, that's huge panic mode right there. So when we're looking at this trifecta, I think you guys can see my mouse here. This is the sweet spot right in here. You want a little bit of comfort, okay? You want a little bit of stretch, and then you just want to touch something that makes you wildly uncomfortable, because if you never take that next step, if you never go beyond, if you never plus ultra, if you never PR, Nanera, I'm looking at you, then you're never going to figure out where your limitations are. You're never going to be able to say, I tried this once, I don't like it, I'm going to go this direction. You're never going to be able to figure out where your North Star is. Can I ask what you have done recently in growth to make you uncomfortable? Have you seen my TikToks recently? I'm being honest. Have you seen my TikToks recently? Yes. So Coda, I'm going to tell you, and Jen can attest to this, and Squirtle can attest to this, and Nanera can attest to this. For 2 years, I have tried to do everything with my short form social media to stay away from education, because I told myself, I don't have the follower count. I don't have the subscriber count. Who the fuck am I to be telling people how to do this? There's so many other qualified streamers out there. What would I even bring to the table? I can't tell anybody how to be successful. I can't tell anybody how to do this, that, and the other. I don't have time to record bot tutorials and walkthroughs and all of this stuff. Like, my comfort zone was in posting clips, because if I'm nothing, I'm funny. If nothing else, I am funny. Okay. And I figured other people would see that. Turns out funny doesn't necessarily add value. And for 2 years, I have been struggling with getting into the mindset that I bring something of value to the table to the point where I could do educational content. I'm not sure what snapped. I'm not sure what hit me, but I had a fuck it we ball moment about a month ago. And Jen can tell you, I was in her DMs talking about this, and I was sharing with Jen and Nanera from 2 different perspectives as I was building this out. And the first set of content that I put out, I literally was like, people are going to comment on this and tell me that I'm shit. People are going to comment on this and be like, who the fuck are you to tell us these things? Nobody's going to engage with it. Nobody's going to interact with it. I will tell you that this latest round of content that I have put out as an educator or a content strategist has scared the living shit out of me, period. As comfortable as I look, the affirmies, they were easy to do. They were easy to do because they were already written on a card. I didn't have to do anything. That wasn't me talking. But for me to sit here and act like I was somebody to be telling people how to be streamers was a really fucking scary thing. The issue is the gatekeeping in the community of Twitch. You're one of the only streamers I've ever seen willing to share information because nobody shared it with me. And I had to learn these things through trial and error. When I found something that worked and people were struggling with it, I wanted them to find the same joy and the same success that I found. Look who was shrinking themselves this time. We love watching this grow so much. I love watching the mental train while you were building it. Ugh. Yeah. 2 years, Coda. 2 years it took me to get comfortable with that. I literally, if you had seen my Instagram, when I first got into content creation, my Instagram used to be about my content. And then when I decided that I wasn't good as a content creator and nobody was really coming to me for content and I didn't have anything of educational value, and Squirtle kept trying to tell me, he's like, you have to like offer something of value to them. I'm like, I don't want to do cooking. I don't want to do recipes. I can't do hair tutorials. I can't do makeup tutorials. What the fuck am I actually good at? Like, what am I going to teach people? Workers' compensation? No, that's applicable to like 30 people. Right? So I actually redid my entire Instagram to my fitness content because I'm like, well, if there's one thing I'm good at, it's being consistent at working out. And maybe people want to see fat girl on a fitness journey. Turns out that's an oversaturated market. So I didn't do well there either because I wasn't creative enough to be original and find that one thing that made me appealing to people. Whereas it kept coming back to the fact that if I'm the Twitch mom, right? Like I should be nurturing my community. I should be nurturing the people that are coming to me. I should be nurturing the children coming in. I should be nurturing the baby streamers. I should be nurturing the baby content creators. And the thing that I found is a lot of the time the advice that's coming from a lot of these streamers has to do with the stream specifically and numbers and getting your content out there. What I didn't see was somebody saying, hey, don't do that. You're doing that wrong. Go over here and do this. Nobody's calling anything out and saying, hey, I see you doing this. I'm seeing a lot of this. Don't do that. Do this instead. I promise you'll get better results. And somehow it's working. So we're just going to ride that. 3 forms of value: entertainment, education, and connection. That part. Or they're doing the calling out, but not the directing. That part. They literally will just go on a rant and tear people down. I'm like, why? Por qué no los dos? Like, why can't we sit here and say, hey, maybe instead of, doing this, do that. And that's why I built this. That's why I built this whole series. You love my TikTok videos. Thank you, Foxy. I appreciate that. I wish someone would tell me what I bring, to be honest, because I'm in the same boat. What am I bringing to the table? Am I valuable? Well, Coda, take a look back on your journey, okay? Take a look back on your journey. Can you think of times that people have come to you and asked you questions about things? Because if people are coming to you for something, okay, that means that you brought value in that space. If somebody's coming to you and they're asking you, hey, how did you get this in Stardew Valley? Or how did you do this in Stardew Valley? Guess what? You have value in Stardew Valley. And people love them some informational, instructional videos on their favorite video games, especially something as layered and complex as Stardew Valley. Because you're about lifting people up, not tearing them down to make yourself feel better. I found that it just doesn't work well that way. There are other creators that I know who do something like this, but it's mostly them telling you what you're doing wrong, and the only way to fix it is to do what they are doing. Yikes. But it works. I mean, it works for them. It may not work for somebody else, though. That's the problem. You got to give direction, and then just, you got to give people enough information to kind of take that and run with it and let them make it their own. But so Coda, I'm just going to tell you right now, that's where my content series came from, is because I've started to see people either coming through my chat or other people's chats and exhibiting behavior that I was like, that's awfully wild. Why are we allowing this? Or there would be stuff that would be happening in the Discord server, or there would be stuff that would be happening in my chat, or there would be people asking me questions, or I would see my friends in the streamer community struggling with something, like Miss Pokey with her audio. Okay? But unless you're going to go and watch a YouTube video, you really don't know, right? So why are we not taking care of our own? And so these are things that I've experienced. And with the help of people like Nanera and Panda, I was able to kind of forge my own way and find solutions to, a lot of the issues that I was having. And when I found people were coming to me for things and asking me about things, it was like, there's value. Am I the biggest streamer? No. But do I know a thing or two about growing a successful, engaged community? Yeah, I do now. I absolutely do now. Audio equals scuff. You don't have to leap in a full-on panic mode to grow. Small steps count. Absolutely. Everything is a step-by-step. You take it's just like any workout program, right? This is going to be just like any workout program. You have to make small strides, and then you have to settle in. And when panic zone becomes stretch zone, becomes comfort zone, you go right back again. Panic zone becomes stretch zone, becomes comfort zone, or you just go comfort zone to stretch zone and keep going into stretch zone and dip your toe into panic zone every once in a while to see where you land, right? But the goal, the idea is to not stay in the comfort zone, because you're not going to grow that way. You don't have to be the biggest streamer. You are a trusted streamer, and that's what makes people feel like safe to learn from you. And that's huge, because if people trust me in the things that are coming out of my mouth, that's worth more than 50 million subscribers, period. Just to give you guys a little bit of perspective, okay, to reframe the narrative, discomfort doesn't mean you're doing it wrong. It means you're doing something new. Okay? It's just like anything else. When you try a recipe for the first time, it's probably going to be a mess. It doesn't necessarily mean you're doing it wrong. If you're following the steps, it doesn't mean you're doing it wrong, but you might have to tweak some things along the way. So long as you fall down 7 and get up 8, it will eventually work itself out. Speaking of reframing the narrative, okay, this is where I'm gonna be real loud for some of you, okay? When we're talking about putting ourselves out there and we're promoting ourselves, and I think somebody said this, I think Chief said this, because I'm afraid that people are going to see this on every single one of my platforms and they're going to get sick of me. This one's for you. You're not being attention seeking. You're sharing your story, first of all. Okay. Self-promo isn't bragging. It's about letting people know how they can support you. Come to my stream, subscribe to my channel, interact with this video. That's not bragging. You need to let people know how they can support you. Otherwise, they don't know. They're just consuming your content at that point in time. Think of it as an invitation for them to engage with you, not an imposition. Okay. You're not imposing on anybody, because there's a power of free will when it comes to social media. If they don't want to engage, they don't have to engage, but invite them to. Okay. The other thing that I want to say with regards to what Chief had said, if 20% of your audience is on every single one of your social media platforms, great. That means that 20% of your audience is going to see your content more than once. What about the other 80% of your audience? What about the people who are not currently following Chief Werewolf? What about the people on Facebook that don't know who you are? What about the people on Instagram that you haven't reached yet? What about the people on YouTube that have not yet seen your videos to decide whether they want to like and subscribe? Okay? You cannot, as a content creator, shrink yourself down in your self-promo area to make your 20% of your audience comfortable. Okay? If they get annoyed with seeing your shit, guess what? That means you're doing it right. Okay? Because then that means that Chief is everywhere. But if you really, really, really want that growth, if growth is important to you, if the exposure is important to you, if you really want people to see who you are, put yourself out there. Put yourself out there. The people that matter are the ones that will support you on every single platform. Period. If I see a Chief video show up on YouTube, I'm going to hit that little like button. I'm going to subscribe. I'm going to drop a comment. If I see that same shit show up on my Instagram, I'm going to like. I'm going to engage with that video. Why? Because I support my people, and because liking a video takes 1 fucking second. And it does so much to support a content creator. If 20% of your audience is going to see you on multiple platforms and they're going to get annoyed over it, you don't need that 20%, because now you are shrinking yourself back for the opinion of few when many have yet to experience Chief Werewolf. Okay? A rising tide lifts all the boats, or however that saying goes. Yes, this is part of the reason I'm leaning into shop promo. What is shop promo? What's the best way to record short form content? Oh, edit short form content? That depends. I'm going to asterisk that one. Because that depends. For me, if you're going to be doing speaking content, I have like the biggest hack ever, period. It takes me like an hour to edit a week's worth of content. Okay. If you're going to be doing something a little bit more complex than that, it might take you a little bit more time, but the idea is to try and see what fits for you. We can go into editing in another video, Coda. And we can talk about the difference between spoken word editing and gameplay editing and what is the best approach for both of those. As a matter of fact, that's something I might even bring Squirtle in to help me with, because Squirtle has been my editing buddy for the last 2 years, and we have been going through everything, and we've been taking information in from various sources. And Squirtle and I have literally been on this trial and error journey with our content for the last 2 years together. No, you're totally fine. You're totally fine. I like the questions. Don't stop asking the questions, whatever comes to top of mind, because like I said, I will go back through this and we will create additional topics on this, because I want to make sure that I speak to what you guys are asking about. And again, I'm just speaking solely from my experience and what's worked for me, but I'm just going to be giving you guys information and a little bit of guidance. Okay. Pro tip, there is a wrong way to self-promo. Your job is to know the difference. And we're going to talk a little bit about the right way to self-promo and the wrong way to self-promo. Okay. Oh, this one, the myth of just post more. I cannot tell you how many times I have seen people on TikTok pandering the idea of blowing up your timeline and your For You page to try and get that exposure, and posting every time you open TikTok. And that is not how it works. That is very much a quantity over quality methodology. And honestly, people will get sick of that, because your content will lose a lot of its substance that way. Okay. So don't be that person. If you are going to post something that is valuable and meaningful for the audience that you are trying to attract. Don't just start posting rubbish 20 times a day because you open TikTok to doom scroll. Don't do that. Do not do that. Quantity of quality only works when the quantity actually has quality, that part. So don't fall into that trap. Common advice like just post more, just go viral, or just be consistent can be harmful without strategy. Okay, there's a difference between posting more and being consistent. Okay? And your consistency has to have a strategy. You have to have purpose when you are posting, even with consistency. There are some people who have gotten it down to the wire in terms of the algorithm as far as what time is the best time to post on various social media platforms based on the content of your video and the time of your video. So don't just sit there and think, oh, because I posted every single day that it's going to hit the algorithm and take off. And if you are banking on going viral, let me let you down real gently. If you are banking on blowing up off of one viral video, I'm going to tell you something. Viral videos are based on views and likes, okay? As a content creator and as a streamer, none of that shit matters without conversion. Does anybody know what I mean by that? When I say conversion, when we're talking about posting on social media, does anybody know what I mean? I saw Death start typing immediately. Viewers to followers to consistent. Bingo! That, and I believe that's the marketing funnel that Nanera was talking about, okay? I believe that's what they call a marketing funnel. One viral video that gets you millions of views and millions of likes, if it does not translate to followers who then become consistent and engage with your content, that viral video doesn't mean shit. So hoping to go viral is going to be as fleeting as the moment that video was viral, period. It doesn't mean shit without conversion. I will tell you, and Jen will tell you right fucking now, the only thing that I have been watching as this new content series has been going live across all of my different platforms, okay, is the actual conversion rate, the amount of new followers I'm getting on both TikTok and Twitch as a result of this short form social media. Now, it's doing great on YouTube in terms of views. I'm getting absolutely no engagement from YouTube off of it. Am I going to keep putting it out there? Yes, because eventually at some point in time, those thousands of views are going to hit the right audience and take off into the sunset. That is consistency with strategy. Okay? That is not just posting to post. That is consistency with strategy. The views are there. We're trying to turn them into conversion. Okay? TikTok is king for discovery right now. If you are not making short form content on TikTok as your primary means of getting people from one platform to another, you're doing it wrong. Sorry. There's a very, very short algorithm market for YouTube shorts. TikTok is king for discoverability right now. Okay. Volume does not equal value. You need purpose behind what you're sharing. Again, I just mentioned that this is a quantity over quality type thing. You want to make sure that the stuff you're putting out means something to the people that are engaging with it. You need to give them a reason to like. You need to give them a reason to comment. And you need to give them a reason to share this with somebody else. Because the second that your video says, I think somebody else might actually enjoy that. Or, ooh, this actually sounds like something somebody was talking about the other day. That is engagement. Okay? But your engagement needs to have follow through and convert to followers and consistence. Someone else said that to me, so I started posting clips from streams on TikTok. Most of them are old clips, though. Yep. If you're speaking into the void, you are going to burn out. Period. If you are posting video after video after video after video to 5 views, 2 views, no comments, no engagement, there's no dopamine. There's no return on investment. Why are you posting? You will get sick of it. You will defeat yourself. You will burn out, period. That's loud and accurate as fuck. All right. Every creator has a why. Finding yours is crucial to avoid burning out. I will die on the hill of 2 things when it comes to being a content creator and a streamer. Why are you making content? Who are you as a content creator? If you have these two things, you will likely avoid burning out at any point in time because you know exactly what your path is and where you're going. You know exactly what your purpose and your intention are. And that's huge. You can't just be posting just to post. Because let me tell you something. If getting exposure and visibility on TikTok meant that you had to jump on every trend the second that it came out and do every TikTok dance, I'm 45 fucking years old. There's no good reason. That's it. My TikTok career is over. Bye. You know what I mean? We're not going to jump off and just start creating any type of content. You're not just going to start doing TikTok dances to do TikTok dances because, again, that doesn't tell anybody who you are as a content creator. That doesn't give anybody a reason to engage with you. That doesn't tell people what they can expect from your content. There's no consistency. They don't know what this TikTok dance has to do with any of your other content. And if they follow you based off that TikTok dance, that's the content they're expecting. Pay attention to people who convert their likes off of your social media into follows, because the content that converted them from a like into a follow is likely the content that they liked and are going to expect out of you. So don't just start posting bullshit just to post bullshit. If you're funny, be funny. If you have cats, post your cats. If you're a gamer, post your game. But bring something of value and pay attention to which of your content is getting you follows to see if they're going to be long-term or if they're going to be short-term. Is it okay to have variety on TikTok, or should we only post on topic of what we stream? I post like me. Nope. You absolutely. Okay. Again, posting with strategy. Okay. You have to post with strategy. There's a few different aspects. There's a few different aspects to my content per se. 1 is the co-working. 2 is the gaming. 3 is the yapping. And then 4 is me just being mom. Okay. All of them have their own niche, and every single one of them is my personal branding, right? Meaning, if you showed up off of a TikTok video, if you showed up to my stream, what you got off of TikTok, you have a chance of experiencing in that moment when you come to my stream. So if you stream Stardew Valley and you make Stardew Valley content, that's great. If you are a book girly and during your co-working streams, you guys talk about your books, or you have something on your stream that is related to your books, that is consistency in your branding. It is absolutely okay to intertwine pieces of your personality on TikTok, on social media, and show people who you are, so long as you know why you posted that content. Does that make sense? Variety is absolutely okay. There are very, very, very few people who just stick to a singular source of content. And even if they do, there is a reason. Follow me on this one. Scotty K Fitness, one of the biggest fitness and nutrition creators on TikTok. When he first started out, and Death, correct me if I'm wrong, all he was doing was his macro-friendly recipes. As he got bigger and he passed the 1 million mark and the 2 million mark, he started to slowly incorporate different types of content, and his community rocked with him all the way because it was his personality that they came to love. You can get those recipes anywhere. It was Scotty's personality that he put into it that sold people on getting those recipes from him. So when he started branching out and doing other types of content, he remained authentic to who he was as a content creator, and the content just flowed with his community, and he continues to grow. Okay? That man should be studied for content science. I will die on that hill. He should be studied for content science because he literally did it the right way. He did it the right fucking way. And then what happened was he converted that. Okay, there's that word again. There's that C word again. He converted that into a Twitch following. His content on TikTok has absolutely nothing to do with him playing video games, with the exception of the fact that he is a Fallout junkie and he happens to play Fallout on Twitch. But people don't go to him on Twitch to see him play Fallout. 95% of the people that follow Scotty from TikTok to Twitch are there to hang out with Scotty. It doesn't matter what the fuck he's playing. You have to establish yourself as a creator to get to the point where you could go live and play solitaire and your community would still show up for you, period. That's how you know you've made an authentic connection with people, okay? He's also the correct person to make famous, yes. I need to figure out where to prioritize my energy content-wise. Balance is so hard, yep. And prioritize what makes you happy, first of all. And then figure out a way to get other people to find the same joy in that. This is getting you a lot to think about. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. So your homework, as it were, is a reflection piece. I want y'all to sit with yourselves for a little bit. Okay. Could be a couple of days, could be a couple of weeks. But for each one of you who are here, if you're serious about this, come back to me at some point and let me know who you are as a content creator and why you make content. Because if you had to answer that question right now, for a lot of us in this chat, I don't know that would be an easy question to answer immediately. That with given time over a couple of days that you wouldn't second guess. All right, promo with purpose. We talked about content with purpose. Now we are going to talk about promoting that content with purpose. I see you guys typing, so I'm going to give you guys a second before I move on. My answer has always been I would be playing games anyways. Why not chat with people? But I don't think that's good enough. So that is absolutely good enough for a streamer if that's all you want to get out of this. Okay. There's no right answer here. There's literally no right answer here. This is about you and what you want out of this. Is if all you want is just to have a chill space to be able to play games and chat with other people, and growth and numbers and all of this doesn't matter to you in the slightest, then you already know who you are as a creator and you already know why you're streaming. Can you say the homework again? Reflect on who you are as a creator and why you stream. Why you make content. So who you are as a creator and why you make content. All right, so we're going to talk about promo with purpose. These are some self-promo things that you can do to help yourself, okay? So we're just going to, this is some guidelines here. I just figured out my why, and the answer applies to the entire time I've been streaming. I need to noodle on this for a bit. I love this. I'm a storyteller, and I want to tell the stories to bring people joy or escape from the messy world. Okay, so that's your, okay, so but what kind of a storyteller, Chief? Like, what is it? What is it like? I get wanting to give them an escape, but like, what if somebody were to say, oh, that's Chief Werewolf, and somebody in their mind would conjure what they think of when they hear Chief Werewolf? What is that? That is who you are as a creator. Okay. When to promote? After you've contributed, connected, or created value. Did I miss notes on something? I think I did. I missed notes on something, and I kind of want to go back to that. Let's go back to that real quick before we get on with promo with purpose. I'm going to go back to this one real quick. I'm probably going to say some things that are going to be a little bit loud for some people, but I feel like they need to be said because I've been seeing a lot of this actively. And as much as I want to scream at people, it's frowned upon. But if I can give you two pieces of advice when it comes to your comfort zone, and then this actually ties into self-promo. So I'm glad we're going back to this, because you getting out of your comfort zone also has a lot to do with networking and promoting yourself. And these are kind of one and the same. I'm just going to say the quiet parts out loud. When you are rating out as a streamer, as a live streamer on Twitch, do you understand that rating is probably one of your biggest and strongest built-in automatic self-promo networking tools? Think about this. Envision this with me, if you will. You've just wrapped a stream. You're going to go over and raid into a new community. What happens? That entire community that's over there existing right now has just been announced that Spirit Foxy is a streamer on Twitch, and they are playing this game. And somebody in that community is going to go, oh my God, I love this game. And they're going to want to go and see you play this game. You're exposed to a whole new community, which has the potential to get you conversion, right? But then you automatically get shouted out. Most streamers, if they're, welcoming, they will shout you out. And they will ask you about your stream, and they will engage with you, and you have the ability. That is your permission in that moment to invade somebody else's space, because now this is a trade-off. You have brought your community and exposed them to something new, because what happens when we raid into new people? Most of you who come with, if you're not already following, you guys drop a raid message and then you follow. right? So it's a trade-off in networking and self-promotion. And it is one of the times where it is perfectly acceptable for you to do that. I need y'all to stop rating just the people in your friend circles. Stop it. Knock that shit off. When you go into your creator dashboard and you hit the little parachute button and that list comes up, if the first thing you do is go and click on the following filter, you're doing it wrong. Okay? I'm going to tell you, it is okay once in a while to go and raid people that you are establishing community with. But 90% of the time, you should be raiding into new communities. Stop raiding within your friend circle. It's weird. No, I'm just kidding. It's actually a good way to strengthen networking relationships, okay? But if you are looking to grow, the only way you're going to get that automatic exposure with permission to promote yourself and network is by raiding into new communities. That's why normally the first thing I do when I'm playing a game is I look for people who are also playing the same game and we go right into them. Okay? Outside of your comfort zone. If all you are doing as a small streamer is staying in your comfort zone and only raiding into people you know, you are doing yourself a disservice in the name of growth. Okay? Also, collaborations. If the only people that you are collaborating with is your friend circle, you're not collaborating, you are gaming with friends on stream. Just thought I'd put that one out there. It's okay to game with your friends on stream. Don't call it a collab. Collaborations are used for the purpose of networking and growing and bringing communities together. Collaborations are usually supposed to happen when it's somebody that you don't normally game with. Squirtle and I, we game together on stream. Ninera and I, we game together on stream. It is not a collaboration. We are not sitting here and doing something for the growth of our communities at that point. How do we reach out to people to collaborate? That is a very good question. That is a very good question. Most of the time, if you raid into somebody who is playing a game that you play consistently, and there's an opportunity for collaboration there, if it comes up organically when you raid in, great. You have to figure out how to organically bring it up. Otherwise, if you want to just be that person like I am 95% of the time, if you want to be that person like I am 95% of the time, you shoot them a whisper on Twitch. Or if you're in their Discord server, or if you know how to message them on Discord, but it has to come up organically, right? If they raid into you, that is perfectly okay for you because they're in your space now to say, hey, if you like playing this game and you ever want to collab sometime, hit me up. It should never be the other way around. If you raid into somebody and be like, yeah, I'd love to collab with you at some point, like that's kind of cringe. Okay. Like that for me, if somebody did that for me, that would make me feel like they brought their community over here just to try and get that collab with me. Right? That feels cringe and that feels clout chasey. It's very, very weird. But if somebody comes into your space and they're playing a game that you play, or both of you guys were playing the same game and there's the ability to do a collaboration on it, great. Otherwise, so Huntress and I are doing a collaboration this weekend. Huntress, let me explain to you how this happened, okay? Huntress never rated me. She never rated me. She offline followed me. And I don't know about you guys, but I'm the type of person where when somebody follows me on Twitch, I click on their name to go see if they're a streamer. And then I spy on them. Remember I told Midwest Alex that I watched his VOD and then he came into my stream and I was like, oh my God, I fucking love you. I spy on people, okay? I like to know who I'm dealing with. But that's how I discovered that Huntress streamed. And then she would stream in the mornings while I was getting ready. So I would lurk in her streams to get a vibe. And I loved her. And then I finally said something in her chat and I started engaging with her. And that developed organically. And then she came over and she started hanging out in my chat. And then I raided her. And that kind of grew. And then she joined the Discord. But like we've been talking about doing a Marvel Rivals collab for forever. And then I just fell out of love with Marvel Rivals. And now she's like, I just tried playing Peak and I think it's right up your alley. Let me know if you want to do a collab type thing. Like you can grow these connections organically and give them time to kind of blossom naturally into collaborations. Doing the, hey, do you want to collab right off the bat type thing is a lot more difficult when you're not actually mutuals with the person, if that makes sense. So if you want to go balls to the wall, fuck it, we ball. If you have somebody raid into you and you're like, hey, if you ever want to collab, like hit me up. The only thing I would caution about, and the reason why they say it's probably better to collaborate with your mutuals and let something foster itself organically is because you want to make sure that you don't bring somebody into your space that's going to harsh the vibe. You don't want to bring anybody into your space that you don't know their vibe and you don't know their community and you haven't experienced them and you put yourself and your community at risk to have an interaction that is going to be less than pleasant. How do you recommend a co-working collab? Okay. Co-working collab. So if you are part of the Twitch co-working and co-working creators club or whatever, I don't remember if you are or not. That's a good place to post in there if you want to do a collab with somebody. Otherwise, I would say if you have fostered organic connections with other co-working streamers, just put it out there to them. You know what I mean? Like I think co-working collabs actually would go pretty hard. That would be kind of nuts. But I just think it's probably better if it's somebody that you've already fostered somewhat of a connection with. Like, I feel like I could go into Bevan's stream. I could go into Spicy Mayo's stream. I could go into Coda's stream. Who else could I go into? There's a number of streams that I could go into and probably be like, girl, do you want to do a co-working collab? And it would go over well. You know what I mean? What does mutuals mean? Because I've never known. So mutual is like somebody who you are like a mutual connection. Right? Like it's not just I follow you and I'm a chatter in your stream. It's I follow you and you follow me and we have mutual engagement. Does that make sense? I am, which is how I found you actually, but I've never said a single thing in there because I'm genuinely scared. Wait, what? What do you mean? What? Never said a single thing in where? Oh, yeah. Don't be scared. They're fantastic people in there. I know speaking in a Discord server is scary. Because like, especially when it's majority women, I know it's scary, but you just got to be the one because here's the thing. And I think this is coming up in one of my TikToks this week. Low key, the collaboration that you are afraid to ask somebody for, they are just as scared to be the one to ask. They are just as awkward, they are just as anxious, and they are just as tired, and they are just as worried, and they are also probably waiting for somebody else to make the first move. Self-promo and networking is about you getting outside of your comfort zone and making the first move and getting comfortable with making that first move and having the response be a no, period. But if you don't ask, they can't say no. They also can't say yes. Closed mouths don't get fed. You know what I mean? That's scary is the thing. I'm also afraid to speak in most Discord servers. I have closed too many doors on tabletop RPG because of it. That's so fair. Agreed on the scary, especially when it's a Discord that's a community that's been together for a while. Yep, because you are the new person at the party. I also stream from Mac, so I need to figure out the streaming collab aspect. I think it's possible. I don't know the specifics about Macintosh, but I think it's possible. All right, so the when to promote, obviously, after you've contributed, connected, or created value. And that was exactly like what we were talking about, like my story with Huntress, right? We've contributed to each other's streams by, rating and engaging. We've connected by forming a mutual engagement, and we've created value in each other, right? Because we've brought our communities over to each other, and now they are part of my community. And, when I show up in their stream, I'm a habitual not Discord server joiner just because I barely have time to even read the stuff that goes on my own server, which I absolutely am not complaining about. I fucking love it. This is the most active my Discord server's been in a while. But your girl has ADHD, and I'm busy. So I only care about my server. Where to promote? Your own social media, number one networking tool. TikTok is king. I'm going to say it again. Discord servers with permission. If you are in a Discord server and they have a self-promo channel, fucking use it. fucking use it. I'm going to tell you something right now. I think it was last night or the night before. Maybe. I don't remember what it was, but I saw Huntress post in self-promo. I saw Bob Woe post in self-promo. I saw Death's Chokehold post in self-promo. Self-promo was popping off in my fucking server. And I was messaging with Squirtle and I said, can I tell you something weird? And he was like, yeah. And I said, I like watching people posting in my self-promo channel makes me feel a type of way because it makes me feel like the people posting in there feel like there's value in posting in my self-promo channel. Okay? I'm going to give you guys some perspective. You guys are nervous about posting in self-promo. Okay? You guys are worried about posting in self-promo. That channel is there. It's not restricted. It's unlocked. There's people that post in there, but I literally was just like, it makes me feel like they feel like there's value here. And that was like so fucking mind blowing for me. I fucking love it. I'm not live 24 hours a day. And I don't play Elden Ring and I don't play Dead by Daylight and I don't play these games, but there are people in my community that love those games and they might want to go hang out with other streamers that also love those games. And there are mutual connections through engagement there. That is absolutely. So if you are in a Discord server with a self-promo channel that is unlocked and you don't have to be put on a list to get a bot notification or get permission from if you are in a server with an open self-promo channel, please use it. Please use it. The only thing that I would say, is do not engage in organic conversation in any section of somebody else's Discord server and be like, yo, over in my Discord server. Don't do that. If you're going to post in self-promo, post in self-promo. If you're going to be in somebody else's house, don't put up party flyers for the party at your house on their fucking refrigerator. That's a no-no? Yes. Okay, I see the kappa. I gotcha. Damn, I wanted to do No, please post. Please post. That's what it is there for. We don't gatekeep in this house. If you steal my shit, I'm going to have a problem with you, but we don't gatekeep in this house. You know what I mean? But that also leads into the how to promote. You're going to contextualize what you're sharing and make it relevant. If it's self-promo, it's self-promo. If you're Stargirl making music, you're going to post it in the music channel. Okay? Here's the thing. If you are an interesting enough human being upon interaction in somebody else's Discord server, people will find a way. There is nobody that will find out something about you faster than somebody on the internet who catches a fucking vibe. The FBI couldn't even figure out who you are or where you stream faster than somebody in another Discord server that catches a fucking vibe. You understand when you're interacting with somebody in a Discord server and they catch a vibe, all they have to do is click on your profile and they find out where you are. If people want to find you, they will find you. Okay, I'm going to say it again. You do not have to try and promote yourself outside of self-promo, okay? If people catch a vibe and they want to find you, they will find you. Period. I wanted to make sure people were aware of me before I start using the promo. Death, we're very aware of you. We love you here. You came in and introduced yourself with food. That's like the key to the castle. What do you mean? I've never seen anybody get so many interactions with an introduction. It was amazing. Can I put a gate to my house in your house? Why don't we just knock down a wall and share them? What if I make your shit into poetry? What? Oh, I get it. I got it. So when you are going to post, obviously for self-promo, you want to think about why would someone care about this? If you are literally just going in with zero context and just dropping a link and being like, yo, I made a funny clip. That's self-promo. Yo, check out this funny moment from my stream the other day. Check out the sick edit I did to this funny moment from my stream the other day. That's self-promo. There's no context. It didn't come up in conversation. It's not relevant to anything that's happening. You literally just fucking attacked people. We just got assaulted with your shitty cringe self-promo. Don't do that. Don't do that unless it's relevant, right? Self-promo done right can unlock a lot of doors, though. A lot of doors, okay? So let's talk about the right way to self-promo, and then we're going to talk about the wrong way to self-promo. We're going to play a little game of green flag, red flag. All right? Green flag self-promo adds value to the space or the conversation, just like we just talked about. If it didn't foster organically and you're not adding any value to what's happening currently, don't do it. So make sure that whatever it is that you're doing is adding value in that moment, in context. Show your personality, authenticity, or vulnerability, right? Like, we have a lot of people that engage within the confines of my Discord server. And again, I'm going to tell you right now, if people catch a vibe, they're going to figure out where you are. They're going to figure out where you are. Okay. I'm going to put somebody on blast right now. Jemiah has been an active member of my community for who fucking knows how long. Jemiah never said anything about streaming, never said anything about going live, never posted in self-promo. She's just been a very active member of the community. And then one day she raids in after she's been playing a game. That's green flag self-promo. That right there is green flag self-fucking-promo, because now we know who Jemiah is. We know who Jemiah is, but now we know she streams. Oh my God, Jemiah is a vibe when she's in chat. She's probably a vibe when she streams. I'm going to go check out her shit. That is green flag self-promo. Is it relevant to the moment or the community? If Chief is working on something and somebody is asking if anybody knows anything about it, Chief has the ability to say, I'm actually working on something right now that pertains to this. That is relevant to the moment or the community. It engages curiosity without demanding engagement. Again, just be yourself. Engage, be kind, be funny, be helpful, be authentic, be anything but that person who just is there to be a walking commercial for themselves. People will find you if they want to find you. Self-promo works better when it's backed by real connections. I'm just gonna go back to Jemiah with that one. Jemiah always came in, always said good morning, always checked in, hung out, has been an active member of the community. So the second she raided in, it was like, that's an instant follow back. Hello? When it comes to self-promo, whether you're in somebody's stream or in somebody's Discord, please remember it is their space, not yours. So make sure that you are creating space for yourself. Your self-promo should not be limited to existing communities. I'm going to say that again. Your self-promo should not be limited to existing communities. You need to be able to self-promo in a space you have created for yourself and supplement with engaging in existing communities. Okay? One of the hardest things is restraining when I get excited about something, but practicing the interactions helps so much. Yes. All right, let's talk about some red flag self-promo. We are almost done. I say almost as we are looking at slide 15 out of 30. I promise we'll go fast. Red flag self-promo, link dropping with zero context or follow-up. Talking about your stuff in someone else's moment. This is a big, big, big pet peeve for me. And it's happened in my chat, but I have seen it I have seen it happen in other people's chats. And I got to tell you, if you are a content creator or a streamer and you or your mods are allowing this to happen, I need you to tighten that shit up, because there is a whole new breed of new streamers and small streamers that think that it's perfectly okay to find somebody that is streaming a game or streaming a category that they stream in also as a new streamer, and they go and they follow that streamer and they try engaging, and after 2 lines of engagement they say, well, I'm gonna go stream now, I'm also gonna be streaming this game. Oh no, wait, I just went live and I'm streaming this game too, I'm gonna have you tabbed up in the background. Don't fucking do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. The I'll have you tabbed up doesn't negate the fact that you just came in here like an entitled asshole and just made this whole thing about you in my fucking house. Don't do that. I can make your stream look better with new graphics. Yeah. Using someone else's community as a launchpad for your own. Again, same thing. Same thing. Being all promo and no participation. I don't know if y'all remember when I was doing the sim streams, but I think that's part of the reason why I stopped doing the sim streams is I had one person that was consistently coming in and they would only type in my chat to say, oh, I'm going to go stream now too. Oh, I'm also streaming the Sims right now too. Okay, well, I gotta go get ready to stream. Oh, hey, look, I'm also live over here streaming. Like, don't do that. The people who have established themselves in my community are here for a reason. You coming through and dropping that you are streaming or dropping a link and nobody knows who the fuck you are, they're not just going to pack up and leave and go over to your stream. Like, that says more about you than it does about anybody else. I know exactly who you're talking about. That was incredibly annoying. It was. I wasn't even fully at my desk for those streams and I remember it. Yeah. It just comes down to, if nobody asked, don't bring it up, period. Okay? If you are in somebody's stream and they say, hey, aren't you streaming tomorrow? Like, I think I did that once with Coda, where I was talking about being offline for a day and I was like, Coda, aren't you streaming tomorrow? And then I said, we're going to be hanging out in Coda's stream tomorrow. Or I let people know who's streaming. Or if you come in and I ask you, hey, how was your stream the other day? How was your subathon? How was this? How was that? Hey, aren't you streaming this game? That is me giving you permission to talk about yourself in my space. Otherwise, if it's not brought up, don't you fucking dare. Okay? I love y'all. I love y'all to pieces. But the RSD and the abandonment issues get real for me every once in a while. Okay? So just don't. As someone who has shared a promo space with you, you do not. Oh, my imposter syndrome says I do this. I shouldn't listen. Yeah, no, you should not listen to him. Once again, just a reminder, people do not follow links, they follow energy. If somebody catches a vibe, they will find you. Better self-promo. Sounds like I made this and thought it might help people who. This clip cracked me up. Hope it gives you a laugh too. If you're into this topic, you might dig this. Now, I'm not saying go and have these conversations in somebody else's Discord or in their stream. This is self-promo in spaces you have created. This is how you add value to your self-promo. Okay? This is how you add value to your self-promo. If you are self-promoing in spaces that you have created, you have established value with these 3 sentences. Can I still share my silly blissy clips? Of course you can. Of course you can. Be an actual human, not a walking ad, please. That's one way to just annoy the hell out of the streamer and their community and find yourself being asked to not participate anymore. Food for thought. What is one way that you can stand out without getting kicked out? I'm curious. If you guys were trying to establish yourself in somebody's community, what is one way, either in a Twitch stream, in stream chat, or in a Discord server, what's one way that you can stand out without getting kicked out? And I already know Death's answer. Death's answer is just post pictures of food. We already know that. That's my new answer. Come bearing snacks. Fight about chicken and Contexo, probably. Yes. I sure Casper. Yep. Dogs. Boost a server on Discord featuring streamer on Twitch. Yes. I offer my expertise when it applies to the organic conversation and isn't already covered. Yep. Because anything that you can do to establish value, anything you can do to establish value is huge. I think I got lost. I was thinking about food. What was the question? What is one way you can stand out without getting kicked out? I love taking my community on the journey too for whatever I need to promote. Most of what I put out takes work. I'll give updates when I get excited about something. By the time I can share the product, there's several people hyping me up and excited for it. That's so good. That's smart marketing too. Feature streamer on Twitch. Should we ask permission to add someone or can I just add people I like to watch? I just added people. I just added people. That's what I did. If you want them to know, now smart networking is asking, hey, do you mind if I put you on my featured page? That way they know that you put them on your featured page. Okay, that's an unagi moment. Okay, we're going to call that slick networking. I see you and I'm here for it. Okay, because I just didn't ask questions. I just put people on my page. I think I put code on my page. I think I put code on my page. I didn't ask. I just fucking weeballed. Usually being me, unabashedly, I make mistakes, but I also feel like I have something to offer for everyone. But see, that's confidence in who you are as a person, and that lends itself to your energy. So that's good. In all reality, I'm opening the walnut of expertise on poetry that I've been clutching like a necklace of pearls. Oh, I love that. All right, what real networking looks like. There are some ways that you can help create a name for yourself in a way that doesn't come off as cringe. Let's explore them, shall we? Number one is supporting without strings attached. Show up, be real, engage, interact, support, keep the main character energy at a 0. Less is more, and the vibe will catch quick. That means if you are the type of person that is constantly showing up in somebody's stream looking for attention, dropping subs in the name of hoping to get a raid or hoping to get follow backs or hoping to get asked about your stream, you are not supporting without strings attached. You are very much expecting something in return. A real vibe comes from showing up and fully enveloping yourself in what that streamer has created, making yourself a part of their community and their environment. That is supporting without strings attached. Okay. And we're not talking about you have to show up at every stream and be there all the time and be completely active in chat. That's not even what it is. You could just show up, say hi, and leave a tab open and lurk and go about your day. That lurk is more support than most people will give to streamers. Ever. Okay? But make sure that people know who you are when you come into that community. Don't just be the person that says hi and lurk. Okay? That's not great promo. Are you supporting the streamer? Yes, but that's not great networking promo. Okay? Number 2, engaging with other creators in meaningful ways. Collaborations are the best way to share communities and expose yourself to a whole new set of potential viewers without being in people's faces. We've already talked a lot about collaborations. I swear by raids and collaborations as being the most organic possible way for you to self-promo with purpose. Period. Building relationships before asking for favors or collabs. So this does go back to Coda's question, and we talked about fostering something organically. If you slide into a streamer's chat and the first thing you do is ask for a collab, you're not going to make a name for yourself, or you're going to make a name for yourself, but not in the way you want to. We already went over this, okay? We're just going to solidify that one. Just ride that one off into the sunset. Not trying to climb over people, try connecting instead. If you see other creators as a stepping stone on your path to greatness, be ready to take a few humility tumbles. People can smell that shit. People can tell when you are using them to get ahead, when you are using their community to get views, to get follows, to get exposure, to get this, that, and the other. People can tell when you are being genuine in your interactions and your engagements and your support, and when you're just trying to make a name for yourself. Some tips that actually work based on my own experience. It's not that hard to just show up, vibe, and enjoy the journey if you truly want to grow. Here are some things that worked for me. Be a real ass human. People connect with you, not just your content. Give them something they can sink their teeth into, not just something they can click. We've been talking about this all night. Be authentic, because at some point your performance is going to exhaust you if you put on a persona or a facade just to try and fit in with somebody's community in hopes that they will notice you and give you their 50 to 100 viewer rate at some point in time. It's not gonna last. It's absolutely not gonna last. Why do you guys think Shower and Foxy keep coming to my streams? Because when I show up in their streams, I'm absolutely fucking genuine. We talk about shit going on in their community. Their community members interact with me and I interact with their community members. If you are going to become a part of the fabric, you need to weave yourself in there like you intend to be there for the long haul. Show up for others without expecting instant returns. Understand that looking to other communities for growth means you're going to be doing more giving than taking. Get comfortable with that fast. Okay? You should never, ever, ever show up in someone's stream with the expectation of return on investment, period. Long-term investments make for the most successful networking, self-promo, and organic engagements and connections and growth of mutuals that will turn themselves into favors and collaborations and additional exposure and networking down the line. Focus your energy on being memorable, not everywhere. Okay? This, again, it's a quality over quantity situation, and people will move on if they feel like they're getting oversold and underdelivered. Meaning, don't be that person. Nanera, just don't be that one person. I know Nanera's going to know who I'm talking about. Don't be that one person who shows up into every fucking streamer's stream possible, contributes this much, and it has absolutely no fucking substance. Don't do that. Okay? Showing up, saying hi, and then throwing out a cheeky line, and then just taking off isn't community engagement. That is you just being a service top. I don't know. Okay, so yeah. Oh, Jen caught that one too. Okay. Okay. All right. Not even a service top. All right. Okay. Well, apparently that is who they are as a creator. Use social media, period. Social media is the fastest and best way to build relationships, whether it's Twitter, Threads, Discord, or group chats. Your online presence is often your first handshake. Make it count. I will also tell you that you don't necessarily have to post consistently. You showing up and engaging with other content creators' content on a regular basis is also a good way to establish communication. We're not talking about establishing connections just in live chats and Discord servers. You can establish engagement through mutual connections through interacting on social media posts as well. So take advantage of that shit. If somebody did something you like, comment on it. The creators are incentivized to respond to their commentary because it boosts the engagement on their post and it adds to the algorithm. So commenting isn't annoying? No, it's not. It's necessary. Creators thrive on comments because it is engagement. It boosts them in the algorithm. It shows the algorithm that this content is getting engagement. People are engaged with this. They're talking about it. There's conversation that's happening. Creators are incentivized to respond to their comments. They love comments. They are making their content for your comments. Now, that's not to say that you're going to get on the internet and be an absolute fuck muppet and just sit there and be trash to women on the internet and tear down men every chance you get. We're not going to be homophobes, racist, transphobes, xenophobes, Jeff-phobes, and dicks. Okay? We're not going to do that. We're going to constructively engage because that also is a form of self-promotion. Okay? Bessie, I love you, but I rarely comment on your stuff, which I love because we talk all the time and I thought I would be annoying. You're never annoying. You're never annoying. Crunchess can probably attest. I'll post comments. I've already said to her something that could be used for more discussion. The engagement is worth it. Yes. And Jen will do it in a manner that gives me the opportunity to engage back with her. So basically show you are a good, cool person. Yes. Mishka, just be yourself. That's not a comment about you. It's about my social anxiety. Nope. I get that. I get that. But a lot of people fail to understand that social media isn't just about posting. It is about actually building connections through engaging either with your content or another content creator's content. Okay? Because how many times have us book talk girlies been on book talk and had somebody growl in our ear, and then we make the stupid comment like, why is this video 6 hours long? Oh my God, can you do that again? I was out ironing my sidewalk. And then the creator responds to you. I'm immediately sending that shit to my friends. I'm immediately engaging on every single one of that content creator's posts to see if I can get them to say some shit back to me. I've now found the dopamine chase in interacting with that creator. And if they catch a vibe and they click on my profile, they're going to see I'm a Twitch streamer. Crazy. I've had a comment responded to by Mr. Pierre because I made a bratty remark. I lost my shit. You see what I mean? You see what I mean? Here are your instant wins, your easy wins. This is your homework. It doesn't have to be immediately. It doesn't have to be off the bat. I know that for a lot of you, these are going to fall into your panic zone. We just want to find something that's in your stretch zone to start with. But these are the easiest wins I can give you right now to start your self-promo and networking journey. Okay? We're going to uplift, first of all. We're going to make sure that people know that we are here to support other people. You should make it a point to uplift 3 creators a week. Comment, share, or shout them out. We were literally just talking about that. These little things have big impact. If you could pick 3 creators a week, I'm not even saying a day, 3 creators a week, and comment on something they've posted. Or if you're thinking about them and somebody's done a great job, shout them out on Twitter, on Blue Sky, on Threads. Do something. Acknowledge them because people love feeling acknowledged for contributing their craft in a space. Okay? Collaborations. I know this is going to be panic zone for a lot of y'all. Okay? But again, closed mouths don't get fed. Okay? If we start in the stretch zone with the uplift, okay? We're going to start in the stretch zone with the uplift. Then you can move to the panic zone with the collaboration. Okay. You can start in your circle. If you've never reached out to another creator and engaged and asked for a collaboration, start within your circle. Get used to what that feels like. Get used to that exchange and what that feels like. Plan 1 collab a month with someone you vibe with. Period. The more communities you get in front of, the more people will get to experience your vibe for themselves. Collaborations are the easiest form of networking and self-promo all rolled into one. Period. My question is relating to collabs. Yes. Deborah, what can I do for you? Bless you. God damn. Collaboration plus reading chat. Any tips on how to interact with chat without disturbing the other person's stream? That was really weird. So, Twitch does this really cool thing. Twitch does this really cool thing called, I think it's still called Stream Together. I think it used to be called Guest Star. I think now it's called Stream Together, where you guys can share chat. Okay. And if you're collaborating, I'm just going to say one thing. If you are collaborating and both of y'all are live, you need to expect that it's going to be chaotic. Okay. It's absolutely going to be chaotic. Stream Together is probably the best way to encourage the fact that it's going to be messy and it's going to be chaotic and we're going to be talking over people and we're going to be engaging with other people's chat. Okay. That is the true epitome of meshing communities for a singular experience. Okay. However, if you get easily overwhelmed and overstimulated, for my neurospices out there, I see you and I acknowledge this. Okay. It is very, very possible if you are in a collab with somebody, most likely you are in a Discord voice chat. You have more control in a Discord voice chat than you do using the chat in stream together. If you need to acknowledge your chat and you don't want to talk over them, normally what I do is I say, I just got a raid, I'll be right back. And then I will mute and deafen so that me and my chat can have that moment and I can address what I need to address, or if somebody raided me and I can address the raid, and then I will go back into the voice chat, but I will do my collaboration partner the courtesy of letting them know, hey, I got a raid, I'll be right back. A chat's popping off over here, I'm going to be right back. I got to mute and deafen real quick, I'll be right back. Let them know so that they don't carry on without you, okay? Mute and deafen so that Discord is now cut off and it's just you and your chat. So there's a couple different ways that you could do that. Chat throws out a pager party. Jesus Christ. Okay. But yes, if chat throws out a Pedro party, you can either, if you're shared chat chaos, you can either encourage them to come over and participate and they'll see all the emotes going up in chat and then they'll throw emotes up in chat. But if it's not that kind of a vibe and we're all a little neurospicy and we're playing Stardew Valley and it ain't that kind of party, I like the mute and deafen feature in Discord. One of these days, Pager Party is just going to be like denied. I'm going to put it on like a 2-day cooldown. One per stream, period. All right, so your third instant win or your third easy win for the week, and this is probably going to be, this is going to be more in your comfort / stretch zone. This is not going to touch your panic zone, but what I want for you guys to do, you're going to draft 3 self-promo posts that actually sound like your voice. Okay, we're going to talk about anything from your go live post to clip sharing, because if you guys don't think that your post, if you post on Twitter, or you post on Blue Sky, or you post on Instagram, or you post on TikTok, and you're talking about, I'm going live, come check me out. If you literally are just posting, I'm going live and playing Pokemon Unite, come hang. That's not a vibe. I'm scrolling right fucking past that. There's nothing in there that's going to make me click. I want for you guys to draft 3 self promo posts. It can be for any medium, any platform, anything. Okay. If you're going to share a clip, I don't know if you guys have seen, like when I put the commercials on Twitter or if I put them on TikTok, there's usually a little like blurb that I put there that says what it's about, but also just hints that my chat might be a little bit unhinged. You want to be able to give people a glimpse of what they can expect from clicking on that link and joining your stream or joining your chat or joining your server. Okay. So this is your homework right here. Okay. I'm going to make sure that I post this in Creator Café for you guys. As a matter of fact, I have this in a PDF version. I will put the PDF of all of these slides in Creator Café so you guys can download this and you can have this. You can have this as a reference and a resource. You can share it if you want. Okay. Networking. All right. Self-promo right there. Something of value, okay? I'm going to put this in Creator Café for you guys to be able to download. This is your homework. That and your reflection point. I want you guys to tell me who you are as a content creator and why you create content, okay? That is your homework. There's no due date on this. I would just say anytime between now and probably next month when we do the next one, but this is going to be your homework right here. All right, final thoughts. This stuff is uncomfortable for everyone, not just you. Believe me. Okay? There are days I get nervous to hit the go live button because I feel like I'm not going to be enough, or that people are going to stop caring about me one day, or I'm going to stop being funny, or they're going to find something better. That is a very real fear. This is me being vulnerable with you guys and letting you know that I still struggle with this stuff. As confident as I seem, as much as I know about how to do all this stuff, as much as I've been through, as much as I've had to overcome continuously, I still struggle with going live. Your content deserves to be seen, but it will not market itself. If you have something of value and you believe in it, put it out there, but you need to be willing to do the work to get it out there. You don't have to be the loudest, just the realist. Period. I'm going to go back to Jemiah. Gonna go back to Jemiah on this one. Jemiah is definitely not the loudest in chat, but she's been a member of the community and she never made it about her until she did. And it was perfect. It was a vibe, period. Remember that there is no such thing as a small streamer, just small mindset. There is an aspect of Delulu to content creation, and you have to believe that you are worth everything. You are worth the viewers. You are worth the chat engagement. You are worth the algorithm. You are worth the collaborations. You are worth the social media posts on all 12 platforms. You have to believe that you are worth it. Your why is more important than anything when it comes to your content. Everything else is burnout. Period. Period. If you don't have a why, you're not long for the content world. Find your voice, make it your own, and then get out there and be so fucking loud that they will have no choice but to perceive you. I really thought that this presentation was going to be 45 minutes and we were going to have 15 minutes for Q&A and we were going to be done by 8 o'clock, but that didn't end up happening. But I could not have been, this was perfect. This was beautiful. I loved this. I loved the engagement. I loved the questions. I loved the interactions. I love that you guys showed up for this. I love that you guys got something out of it, ? No matter how small. And I will continue to go through these. So I'm going to go back and I'm going to pull a couple of questions from this session and they will go into my topics folder for another session. Like I said, at some point when my schedule clears up, I will be offering one-on-one sessions so that, you know, if there's something specific that you wanted to kind of walk through, we could. So yeah, I got something out of it. I'm considering things. For those of you who are on YouTube, I do co-working streams Monday, Wednesday, and Friday during the day, and we do variety gaming streams on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So if you want to come through and hang out, you're more than welcome. My community is one of the most amazing on Twitch, if not the most amazing, but we also have some really amazing content creators in the community, so they also have really amazing communities. So, but I'm kind of partial to mine. I'm somewhat biased, but yeah, thank you guys for stopping by, and we're going to be doing this once a month for now until I can make it bi-weekly. Crunchess is on YouTube. Crunchess is on YouTube.